Content warning. Following files contain sensitive information on topics of transphobia, gender dysphoria, bullying, abuse, suicide, and transgender experiences. Do not continue listening if these subjects are triggering to you. Item number 6113. Level 2 restricted. Containment class esoteric. Secondary class multiple. Disruption class connect. Risk class warning. Special containment procedures. Containment of SCP-6113-1 and SCP-6113-2 is not possible at present moment. Containment efforts of SCP-6113 are primarily focused on the suppression of information surrounding it. The following special containment procedures for SCP-6113 have been implemented. Spread disinformation surrounding SCP-6113-1 and SCP-6113-2 by Foundation web crawlers, implanted agents in an attempt to discredit any reported sightings and transition events. See File 6113-2. Locate and detain transgender individuals affected by SCP-6113, henceforth referred to as subjects, and hold them for questioning for no more than 1 week. Update and modify any and all legal records of subjects to reflect their current sex and gender identity. Apply Class A and E amnestics to subjects and any family, friends, and acquaintances, as well as implanting false memories as if the subject was assigned their gender at birth. Released subjects are monitored for 1 month to ensure complacency. These procedures have been effective at maintaining global normality. However, SCP-6113 continues to affect subjects at an average rate of 4 subjects per 7 days. The number of subjects affected by SCP-6113 total over 243 as of 5/11/2019. The Department of Thaumaturgy is currently developing a permanent containment method for SCP-6113-1. Despite numerous potential subjects employed at the Foundation, SCP-6113-1 refuses to enter Foundation property and conduct transition events on personnel. Testing on D-Class personnel, locating, tracking, and studying SCP-6113-1 and locating SCP-6113-2 is not possible at present moment. Description: SCP-6113 is the designation for multiple objects of varying class, labeled SCP-6113 through SCP-6113-3. Refer to individual files below. Access File 6113-1, Item 6113-1, Level 2 Restricted, Containment Class, Header, Secondary Class, and Contained. Disruption Class, Connect, Risk Class, Caution. Special Containment Procedures. As of writing, SCP-6113-1 has not been contained. In the event of its sighting, Mobile Task Force Lambda-69, 6 Color Crusaders, is to respond and follow standard humanoid apparition and reality bender containment protocols in an attempt to contain it. The Department of Thaumaturgy has yet to develop a conclusive containment method for SCP-6113-1. Description: SCP-6113-1 is a humanoid entity capable of teleportation and disguising as and impersonating human beings. SCP-6113-1 uses its ability to facilitate transition events in transgender individuals globally. See File 6113-2. Current prevailing theories suggest SCP-6113-1 is a humanoid spirit or reality bender, but its true nature is unknown. SCP-6113-1 typically reveals itself to subjects at their lowest moment in life. See Addendum 6113-3, Subject Testimony. When doing so, it disguises itself as a person the subject shares a positive emotional bond with, such as a family member, friend, significant other, or teacher, henceforth referred to as companion. Using information about the subject's personal life and relationship to the companion, it guides the subject to SCP-6113-2 with its teleportation abilities. Subjects do not notice the moment of teleportation as if they had continuously walked to the destination. How SCP-6113-1 obtains knowledge of the subject's life, the personality of the companion, and their relationship to the companion is unknown, but theorized to be a form of mind reading. SCP-6113-1 has been observed to protect subjects from all physical harm, self-induced or otherwise, for a short time before and after appearing to them, possesses intimate knowledge of the subject's personal life, mental health, and relationships, exude a feeling of calmness and comfort. Additionally, it is also theorized that SCP-6113-1 can become invisible as to reveal itself to the subject at the right moment. SCP-6113-1 has not demonstrated any new abilities since its discovery on 20/04/2019, but it may or may not possess any more. Access File 6113-2. Item Number 6113-2. Level 2 Restricted. Containment Class Esoteric. Secondary Class Uncontained. Disruption Class Connect. Risk Class Warning. Special Containment Procedures. As of writing, SCP-6113-2 has not been contained. Due to its passive nature and contradictory descriptions, containment efforts are low priority compared to containing SCP-6113-1. If an opportunity to locate and contain SCP-6113-2 presents itself, Mobile Task Force Lambda 69, 6 Color Crusaders, and the Department of Anomalous Locations are to respond and contain SCP-6113-2. Description: SCP-6113-2 is a natural freshwater lake somewhere on Earth at an unknown location. Descriptions of SCP-6113-2 are inconsistent and contradictory. However, most subjects recall a lake consistent with that of forested areas in the Midwest region of the United States. SCP-6113-2 is the destination for SCP-6113-1 and its subject when conducting transition events. A transition event can only occur when SCP-6113-1 is no more than one subject and SCP-6113-2 are within each other's presence. The steps of a transition event are as follows. See Addendum 6113.3, Subject Testimony. SCP-6113-1 reveals itself to the subject, disguised as the subject's companion, protecting them from physical harm if necessary. In most cases, this happens alone. It is unclear whether it teleports directly or becomes visible. SCP-6113-1 calms and comforts the subject. Subjects do not question why their companion is suddenly accompanying them as if this is completely normal. 3. SCP-6113-1 suggests they go for a walk, guiding them to the lake. To the subject, the apparent environment morphs to match a theoretical path to SCP-6113-2, as if it were within walking distance. Only the subject perceives this. The actual physical location remains unchanged. These hallucinations could also be the cause of the varying descriptions of SCP-6113-2. Again, subjects do not question this. 4. SCP-6113-1 engaged in conversation with the subject about their personal life, offers the subject a seat at the edge of the lake, sitting with them. Topics have included school grades, relationships, and future plans. At some point, the conversation topic naturally shifts to that of gender identity and gender dysphoria, the term for psychological distress caused by an incongruence between one's sex assigned at birth and their gender identity, or euphoria. 6. SCP-6113-1 then prompts the subject to view the reflection in the lake. When subject view their reflection in the water, they first see themselves as is. Slowly, the reflection and physical body of the subject will permanently shift until matching their ideal gender identity. The sex characteristics and chromosomes of the subject are primarily affected. This process is similar to that of SCP-113, but notably painless. 7. The subject expresses a strong emotional reaction, most often excitement and joy, but sometimes anxiety and fear, in which SCP-6113-1 responds appropriately. 8. SCP-6113-1 then guides the subject back to their original location, saying goodbye before leaving either teleportation or invisibility. Subjects that have underwent a transition event, though occasionally possessing atypical anatomy for humans of a binary sex, are non-anomalous. Transition events do not significantly alter a subject's height, weight, and features that are not related to transitioning. Subjects also report feeling more confident and determined to improve their quality of life. Addendum 6113.1 Discovery. On 17/04/2019, reports of subjects suddenly and perfectly changing sex characteristics without the need for medical procedures and hormone replacement therapy began circulating on local news and social media. Only 3 days later did these reports capture the attention of the Foundation. Before discovery, 126 subjects had been affected by SCP-6113. Addendum 6113.2 Initial containment efforts. On 20/04/2019, several mobile task forces were deployed as the Department of Public Disinformation worked to discredit any reports of SCP-6113-1 and SCP-6113-2 and its effects on subjects. During the initial containment efforts, subjects were detained and brought to nearby low-security Foundation facilities. Subjects were held for no more than 1 week. During this time, they were questioned about SCP-6113-1 and SCP-6113-2, while records and legal documents, such as birth certificates, passports, and driver licenses, were updated to reflect the current gender. Before being released, subjects were given Class A and F amnestics. Any family, friends, and acquaintances of the subject were given Class E amnestics. Both subjects and associates were given false memories as if the subject was assigned their current gender at birth. Addendum 6113.3 Subject Testimony. Over 243 subject testimonies have been collected since discovery. These testimonies are the basis for our understanding of SCP-6113. Notable testimonies are summarized below. Subject Sin Yu Ji, age 20. Summarized testimony. Subject, Wallen University, United States, came out to her parents who lived in Incheon, South Korea over phone call. Subject's parents were unaccepting and transphobic, threatening to disown her if she transitions. Subject was distraught for several hours. SCP-6113-1, disguised as her boyfriend, appeared to the subject. Notably, subject's boyfriend was out of state at the time. Subject Noah Okita, age 46, summarized testimony. Subject was laid off from his job recently and was not able to afford rent. Subject, his husband, and his 2 children struggled financially. Faced with eviction, SCP-6113-1 appeared to the subject, disguised as his father. Subject, Charlotte Young, age 87, summarized testimony. Subject's wife died recently, which left her depressed for several months after. SCP-6113-1, disguised as her wife at a younger age, appeared to the subject when she found a photograph of the couple. Subject was also made apparently younger during her transition event. This effect did not last after the event. Subject Athena Quain, age 13, summarized testimony. Subject was in extreme emotional distress after continued transphobic harassment. Subject attempted suicide in the bathroom by slitting both wrists. The razor blade could not break her skin. Frustrated, subject threw the razor blade across the room and collapsed crying. SCP-6113-1, disguised as her older sister, appeared in the bathroom to comfort her. Notably, the bathroom has no windows and only one door. Warning: the following file is Level 3, 6113-3 classified. Any attempt to access this file without Level 3, 6113-3 authorization will be logged and will lead to immediate disciplinary action. Input Level 3, 6113-3 credentials. Item number 6113-3. Level 3 confidential. Containment class Euclid. Secondary class ePark. ePark anomalies are not anomalous in themselves, but they act as evidence of the anomalous. Disruption class Dark. Risk class Notice. Special containment procedures. SCP-6113-3 is kept in a standard humanoid containment cell at Site-17. The senior researcher for SCP-6113-3, currently Dr. James Park, is to act as SCP-6113-3's social worker, responsible for SCP-6113-3's well-being, as well as their normal duties. SCP-6113-3 is to receive a standard education by Foundation educators up until the 12th grade, while SCP-6113-3 is non-anomalous. Standard humanoid containment protocol is in effect. In exchange for continued cooperation and good behavior, SCP-6113-3 is allowed limited socialization privileges with approved site personnel of Level 3 or higher, as well as access to approved on-site entertainment activities, and weekly visits to the Site-17 courtyard, supervised by one project member of Level 3, 6113 or higher. Requests for personal items and containment modifications within reason may also be granted upon approval by SCP-6113 Senior Researcher. To date, SCP-6113-3 has requested a personal laptop, denied. A personal smartphone, denied. A Nintendo Switch console with various games, granted. Personalized meals from the Site-17 cafeteria, denied. Various snacks and beverages on request, denied, then granted, then overruled by Site Director, denied. Release from containment, denied. Once SCP-6113-3 reaches the age of 18 in 2025, preparations are to be made for her amnestisation and release in accordance with the Reintegration Committee. Description: SCP-6113-3, known as Redacted, formerly Redacted, personally identifiable information redacted to protect identity, is a non-anomalous. Objects classed as an ePark are done so for its anomalous circumstances or relationship to the anomalous rather than having anomalous properties. Female, human, of Filipino descent. Records indicate SCP-6113-3 was born on redacted date 2007, making her 12 years old. She is 152 centimeters tall and weighs 50 kilograms and is generally healthy. SCP-6113-3 was one of several subjects of SCP-6113 assigned male at birth. SCP-6113-3 considers herself a transgender female and uses the pronouns she, her. Despite SCP-6113-3 being completely non-anomalous, her containment is necessary out of altruism by order of the Ethics Subcommittee for Humanoid Entities due to the nature of her discovery. Addendum 6113-3.1 Discovery, personal background, and reason for containment. SCP-6113-3 was discovered on 20/04/2019 in San Diego, California Stillwater Hospital System when baffled doctors and nurses attempted to treat the effects of a transition event. A child abuse report to Child Protective Services had also been filed by the Jefferson family and to the hospital. Before SCP-6113-3's containment, the Jefferson family and hospital staff were questioned to confirm her condition. However, the Jeffersons were mistakenly amnesticized due to miscommunication before SCP-6113-3 could be returned. Hospital records, legal records, and the CPS report were expunged from all databases. SCP-6113-3 faced emotional and verbal abuse by her biological parents, Jorge and Victoria redacted. She lacked friends and would often face bullying at school. SCP-6113-3 frequently visit her friend Elena Jefferson, as well as her parents Damien and Ray Jefferson. SCP-6113-3 would accompany the Jeffersons to their family lake house at what is believed to be SCP-6113-2. After being expelled from her home, SCP-6113-3 came to the Jeffersons, with whom she was discovered. Jorge and Victoria redacted were not amnesticized, however. 3 days into SCP-6113-3's week-long holding period, during which she was uncooperative, the following memo was sent to Site Director Thomas Graham. Ethics Committee Memo, date 23/04/2019, to Site-17 Director Thomas Graham, from Ethics Committee Liaison Jeremiah Cimmerian, subject SCP-6113, subject 126. Graham, we have been watching the SCP-6113 situation closely. With hundreds of civilian subjects passing through our facilities, it is our duty to confirm they are being treated ethically. One of these subjects at your facility has captured our attention. SCP-6113, Subject 126. I am sure you have read her file. Nevertheless, according to the report, she was recently expelled from her home and faced homelessness. In the chaos, it seems the Jefferson family has already been amnesticized by mistake, despite their kindness. Returning Subject 126 would be difficult as the reason for her expulsion has already been cleared from the Jeffersons' memories, and returning her to her biological parents is a non-starter. Under any other circumstances, we would not have interfered. However, this is a massive oversight on the field agent's part. As a consequence of the malfeasance, we have deemed it unethical to release Subject 126 into civilian life. We cannot accept her ending up homeless, in foster care, or dead. Therefore, she has been designated SCP-6113-3 and will be held at Site-17 until the age of 18. She is under your care now. Draft containment procedures appropriately. We will be checking on her regularly. Any faults found in her care can and will fall on you. Ethics Committee Liaison, Jeremiah Cimmerian. Addendum 6113-3.2. Interview Log 1. Interviewed SCP-6113-3. Interviewer Dr. James Park. Forward. Earliest recorded interview with SCP-6113-3 conducted 4 days after acquisition. Begin log 24/04/2019. Dr. Park enters the interview room and sits down. SCP-6113-3 sits with her knees to her chest, staring dejectedly ahead. She does not acknowledge him. Hello, SCP-6113-3. My name is Dr. James Park. I'll be managing your stay with us in the Foundation. I'm sure you've been briefed by my team, yes? SCP-6113-3 is silent, briefly glancing at Dr. Park. Not much for words right now. That's okay, we have plenty of time. I just have some questions for you. Is that alright with you? SCP-6113-3 is silent. Alright, So, do you remember what prompted SCP-6113-1 to bring you to SCP-6113-2? According to what you told the Jefferson family, Elena, that's -1 to us, brought you to a lake and suddenly you were a girl? SCP-6113-3 does not answer the question. A majority of the subjects we interviewed claimed -1 only appears at their lowest moment. I just want to know what that was for you. SCP-6113-3 is silent. Data omitted for brevity. Would you rather we do this another time, SCP-6113-3? Don't be afraid to say no. Like I said, we have plenty of time. SCP-6113-3 glances at him before silently nodding. Great. Another time, then. End log. Closing statement. SCP-6113-3 was led back to her containment cell without word or incident. Another interview was scheduled for 1 week later. Addendum 6113-3.3. Interview Log 2. Interviewed SCP-6113-3. Interviewer Dr. James Park. Forward, SCP-6113-3 was observed exhibiting the same behavior as the previous interview. Begin log 01/05/2019. Dr. Park enters the interview room and sits down. Hello, SCP-6113-3. Do you feel up to the interview now? SCP-6113-3 slowly looks up at him and nods slightly. Great. Do you mind telling me, SC, why do you keep calling me that? I'm sorry? SCP-6113-3. It's all anyone here has called me. My name is fucking... Dr. Park places his clipboard down and leans onto the table. Well... Do you see this logo on my paper? Points to the Foundation emblem on his clipboard. What about it? That's the logo of the SCP Foundation. It stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. There are certain things the world shouldn't know about. It could be a deadly monster, a portal to another world, even a pen that does its job too well. Anything that is deemed anomalous. Either way, we make sure no one discovers them. If anyone finds out what we do and what we have, some very bad things will happen. SCP-6113-3 stares at him dumbfoundedly. Whatever it is or whoever it is, we contain it and assign its number. Just like you. And when do I get to go? Not until you're at least 18. Oh. Let's continue this another time. End log. Closing statement. Dr. Park elected to postpone the interview questions until an established relationship with SCP-6113-3 could be made. Addendum 6113-3.4. Interview log 3. Interviewed SCP-6113-3. Interviewer Dr. James Park. Forward. Interview conducted impromptu in SCP-6113-3's containment cell. Begin log 02/05/2019. Dr. Park is allowed access to the containment cell by a guard. Hello. Hi, sir. Oh, just James is fine. Listen, I'm here to explain why you're here. It's the least you deserve. You don't have to say anything, you just have to listen. Okay, James. Data omitted for brevity. What the fuck? Do you need time to process that? SCP-6113-3 nods silently. There is silence for a few moments. I'm not dangerous, though. Why do you want me here? Why can't I go back? You said I'm basically normal. You're not dangerous, but the circumstances that led you here are. You weren't in a good place when we found you. And you have information about -2 we can use. SCP-6113-3 begins to cry and becomes distraught. What about Damien? Ree? Fucking Elena? Does she know where I am? They don't know you exist. Their memories were wiped. It would have been a security risk if we didn't. It was out of my control. SCP-6113-3 becomes more distraught. You piece of shit, get out! Get out! Dr. Park stands up and is led out of the cell by the guard. I'm sorry. End log. Closing statement. SCP-6113-3 was observed in distress for several hours after Interview 3. Interviews intended to gather information of SCP-6113-1 and SCP-6113-2 have been indefinitely postponed. Addendum 6113-3.5. Interview log 4. Interviewed SCP-6113-3. Interviewer Dr. James Park. Forward SCP-6113-3 refused to leave her containment cell for further interviews. By order of Dr. James Park, her privileges were not threatened in exchange for compliance. During the 2 weeks between interviews, SCP-6113-3 had significantly calmed. Interview 4 was instead conducted in her containment cell. Begin log 16/05/2019. Dr. Park is allowed access to the containment cell by a guard. Fucker? How are you too? You're suddenly interested, huh? I thought all you wanted was to know about -2. Well, you're getting nothing. You hear me? Dr. Park proceeds to sit down at the foot of her bed. Look, postpone those questions. We won't hear them until you're ready. Uh-huh. Sure. I'm here because I want to know who is. Why? To put it matter-of-factly, it helps neither of us if I don't even know who you are. SCP-6113-3 does not respond. If anything, I can at least make your time here more comfortable. Fine. Great. Where do you want me to start? Tell me anything I should know. Hobbies, interests, likes, and dislikes. Well, I would go on hikes a lot before gestures. Here.
I'd cook a lot, at least, when I was allowed to. I like the woods and outdoors. I hate fake people. Dude, I don't know. What do you want from me? I want to know what you would like while you're here. What I would like? You want to know what I would like. Well, I would like for you to leave and never come back. Well, I both know that's not possible. I would like this to end now. Dr. Park sighs before standing up and walking towards the cell door. Okay, if that's what you want, we'll end the interview here. Good riddance. End log. Closing statement. Interviews with SCP-6113-3 pertaining to SCP-6113 will continue to be postponed. Addendum 6113-3.6 Interview Log 5 Interviewed SCP-6113-3 Interviewer Dr. James Park Forward Interview conducted impromptu in her containment cell. Begin log 1805-2019 Dr. Park is allowed access to the containment cell by a guard. For fuck's sake, I said I never wanted to see you again. You know I was like you when I was your age? Huh? I was like you when I was your age. How so? Shitty childhood, emotionally abusive Asian parents, lack of friends, pressure to be what others thought was best. I lashed out too. It's the self-preservation tactic. SCP-6113-3 is silent. We have a lot more in common than you think. That's only from what I know, from what your friend Elena's family told us. Now, whether you believe it or not, I am here to help you. But I can't do that if you don't cooperate with me just a little. Your situation is unfortunate, yes, but it's outside both of ours control. And what do I have to do to be cooperative? Dr. Park proceeds to sit down at the foot of her bed. Just tell me what you want me to know. Okay, then give me time. Whatever you need. End log. Closing statement, none. Addendum 6113-3.7 Interview Log 6 Interviewed SCP-6113-3 Interviewer Dr. James Park Forward on 01/06/2019 at 2:54 a.m. SCP-6113-3 had requested an interview with Dr. James Park as soon as possible. The interview was conducted in a standard interview room the same day at 3:10 a.m. Begin log 01/06/2019 Dr. Park enters the interview room holding a cup of coffee, visibly disheveled and fatigued. SCP-6113-3 appears fully alert. Jesus! Why at this hour? By all means, you don't have to talk. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What do you want to tell me? You were right. We do have a lot in common, and to be honest, you're the only person here who's shown me any humanity. Are the other staff not kind to you? They're kind, but not human. Like you said, I'm just another number to them. Hell, you're the only one here who bothers to use my name. Right. Where is this going? My name is Zara. I'm 12 years old and I'm from SoCal. I was bullied pretty heavily in school because, well, you can guess. My only friend was Elena and I hung out with her family a lot. They took me to their lake house in Minnesota every summer, and it was the only time I ever truly felt free. My parents were so fucking shitty, it's unbelievable. They wanted me to be a boy. They wanted me to go to college and study XYZ major. I had to do this. I had to do that. Nothing could be said nicely. It was always shouting. SCP-6113-3 becomes more distressed. Her breathing rate and voice quickens. Then one day, they found a fucking spirit we got from Hot Topic, and that's when I truly knew that they didn't give two shits about me. I, I, I. SCP-6113-3 breaks down crying. Oh shit, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Here. Dr. Park procures a box of tissues and places it by SCP-6113-3. SCP-6113-3 does not acknowledge the gesture. It was very brave of you to tell me all of this, and I'm glad you trusted me with it. Data omitted for brevity. End log. Closing statement. After being consoled by Dr. Park, SCP-6113-3 was led back to her containment cell. She was observed to be seemingly calmer and more content. Addendum 6113-3.8 Interview Log 7 Interviewed SCP-6113-3 Interviewer Dr. James Park Forward Interview requested by SCP-6113-3 Interview lasted approximately 2 hours. Begin log 07/06/2019. Dr. Park enters the interview room. Hi. Hi, James. Look, just please fucking forget everything I told you, okay? I think that would be better for the both of us. Well, why is that? It's a bad habit. I tend to info dump when some adult shows me basic kindness. You know, there's no shame in that, right? I know, it's just embarrassing. I did say we have a lot in common. I do that too. Sometimes. Figures. I'm sorry. I mean, look at you. I could sense trauma on you a mile away. Well, I wouldn't say that. Huh? You still haven't told me. About what? About how much we have in common. That includes trauma. Well, come on. If I info dumped my traumatic backstory to you, it's only fair you do the same. Okay, fine, but you should know this is crossing into some unethical territory here. Fine by me. Now tell me it all. I'm Dr. James Park, 26 years old. Nerd. Sorry, go on. Most of my life was spent trying to appease my parents. I spent all of my time studying or doing some extracurricular they demanded at the time. I never really had a social life, because I always had my face buried in a damn book. Yet, no matter what, it was never enough for them. My sisters were always somehow better than me. Pissed the hell out of me. All the studying paid off, though, because I got the most prestigious job out of anyone in the family. Want to know what the problem is? What? Can't even tell them about it. Damn! Sucks, doesn't it? To not live up to what everyone expects of you while they simultaneously don't give a shit about what you want? You can say that again. Yeah. Data omitted for brevity. SCP-6113-3 is laughing at a story about SCP-6113-3's trauma. Dr. Park is softly laughing. The laughter dies down. Your mom was really that much of an idiot? Yeah, couldn't fucking accept it was her own fault. God, she was such a narcissistic bitch. There's silence for a few moments as the pair calm down. Hey, can... Oh, Jesus. Can I ask a weird question? I'm sorry, it's... Just say it already, James. Okay. How did you know? No, that you are a girl. This isn't a question about the lake, right? No, I'm just curious, that's all. Okay, well, I knew long before any spirit or lake told me so. Sites like Tumblr kinda turn you queer. Nah, I'm kidding. I just learned the words from it, but I mean, I don't know, man. Even before that, girls to me just felt better in every way. They were prettier, they were cuter, they got to like the color pink and all that shit, you know? I remember being so depressed that I just can't be a girl. My aunties always said I'm such a ladies' man, and it made me so uncomfortable. I didn't want to be a ladies' man. I wanted to be a girl that loves girls. But no, girls can't love girls, is what my mom said. And that, fellas, is called gender fucking dysphoria. It's so much fun. You should try it someday. But, I mean, yeah, that's just me, though. Not every trans person feels like that. Huh, so it's an envy thing for you? Yeah, gender envy's a thing, apparently. And when your parents found your skirt, they kicked me out. Yes, absolutely correct. You win $100. Right. Again, I'm sorry about that. Don't worry about it. On the bright side, at least I get shelter and 3 meals a day. On the not so bright side, you guys did rip me from my only friend and family and erase their memories, but you know, you win some, you lose some. Dr. Park awkwardly laughs. His phone alerts him of an upcoming meeting with his superiors. Oh, wow, we've been talking for 2 hours. I gotta go. Loser. Can't even sit down and talk to your prisoner for a few more minutes? Dr. Park shifts in his seat awkwardly. I'm kidding. You've heard me talk enough already. Getting up from his seat. Okay. Thank you for the talk. It was nice getting to know you. Jesus, Jane, you sound like we're never going to see each other again. Well, I. What are you doing? You have somewhere to go. Right. Dr. Park proceeds to exit the interview room but stops when cut off by SCP-6113 3. Wait! Yes. Would next week be good? Yes, we can do this again next week. Cool. Okay. Bye then. Goodbye. End log. Closing statements. Weekly interviews have been scheduled with SCP-6113 3. Questions pertaining to SCP-6113 are indefinitely postponed. Addendum 6113 3.9. Interview logs 8 through 20 summary. Interview logs 8 through 20 have been omitted for brevity. Full interview logs are available by request and are subject to approval by Dr. James Park. Addendum 6113 3.10. Ethics Committee Memo 1. On 01/09/2019, the following Ethics Committee memo was sent to Dr. James Park. Ethics Committee Memo, date 01/09/2019, to Dr. James Park, from Ethics Committee Liaison Jeremiah Samarian. Subject, SCP-6113 Project. Dr. Park, we have been made aware of your weekly interviews with SCP-6113 3. This gathering of information is, without a doubt, imperative to SCP-6113 containment efforts. However, it is of this committee's opinion that your interviews with SCP-6113 3 number in unnecessary excess, without any significant progress made towards containment. We are to remind you that the separation between the object and researcher is an important one. Please remember your duties as a senior researcher, where a full investigation of your actions with the Foundation will be conducted, with possible disciplinary measures. Ethics Committee Liaison, Jeremiah Samarian. Addendum 6113 3.11. Interview log 21. Interviewed SCP-6113-3. Interviewer Dr. James Park. Forward scheduled interview. Begin log 0609-2019. Dr. Park enters the interview room. What's up, James? Hi. How are you? Could be better. Could be not trapped in here. Oh, speaking of that, James. You have got to get a different person to bring me to the courtyard. That Howard guy is so dull and bland. He makes flour look like a spice. Okay. Get Howard away from me, James. He's so boring. Writing on his clipboard? Will do. There's silence for a few moments. Is something wrong? Huh? What? No, it's fine. James, it's been like 3 months. I can tell when something's on your mind. You get like this blank expression, like staring off into space. Uh, look, I'm being pressured by my superiors. Uh-huh. I'm going to have to ask you about -1 and -2. Wow, so you get to know me and then you go back to using me for information. I see how it is. I have a job here. Fortunately, I'm not being paid to talk with you all day. And why should I help you anyway? Like, if what you said is true, you're just going to stop people from using it, right? I don't want to do that. It helped me. It can help others like me. That is a good point. I'm not helping you all find it. Hmm. There is silence for a few moments. Think about it this way. Word gets out about a lake that helps trans people, a bunch of horrible transphobes would flock to it, right? Right. If you tell us what you know, yes, we would have to contain it. That doesn't mean we can't not have anyone use it. We could protect those who do use it. I'm the leader of this entire project, anyway. I'm sure I could organize something. Why me, though? You've talked to like hundreds of other people about the lake. Why is my information important? You're the only resource we have, the only one we didn't amnesticize. God, you guys really do wipe everyone's memories, don't you? Please. We need to find -2. SCP-6113-3 appears to think for a few moments. Okay, I'll help you, but you need to give me time. That's quite all right. And I swear to God, James, if you're really just using me, I'll stab you in the fucking back, okay? Yep, that's fair. Talk about something else now? Data omitted for brevity. End log. Closing statement. Request for increased security for SCP-6113-3 denied by Dr. James Park. Addendum 6113-3.12. Interview log 22. Interviewed SCP-6113-3. Interviewer Dr. James Park. Forward SCP-6113-3 stated she was prepared for another interview. Begin log 1709-2019. Dr. Park enters the interview room. So, you're ready? You could say that. I probably don't want to get you, like, fired or anything. Then you do understand I have to remain professional, right? Yeah. Alright. This is interview log 22 with SCP-6113-3. Date is September 17th, 2019. Time is 1:04 p.m. Now, you were one of SCP-6113-1 subjects, correct? Yes. Can you tell me what happened when it appeared to you? Well, after that happened, sorry to interrupt, please describe what that was for the record. Right. After my parents kicked me out, it kind of just appeared to me. I didn't know. I was just kind of like, just like walking down my street. There was no one around. Most people were sleeping. Go on. So there was no one on the street. It was like midnight or something. Obviously, I was in shock and crying and shit, but I looked up and like she was there. She, or Elena, well, not like Elena, obviously, but it looked like her. I didn't see her dad or mom, not even their car. They don't live in the same neighborhood. I didn't question it though. Like, it was weird, obviously, but I didn't realize it at the time. Suddenly, we were talking and walking. I stopped crying. We talked about, makeup and shit. Whatever teenage girls talk about. Didn't even realize it, but there we were at their lake house. Do you mind telling me what it looked like? She pauses for a few minutes. I don't remember. That's okay. So you're at the lake. And then what? We just sat at the edge and talked. Felt like hours. I swear I watched the moon set. Just talked and talked and talked. About what? Her family, our vacations together, shit only her and I knew. Didn't even realize it wasn't her. It knew all of it without asking you? Right. Then then she brought it up. Brought what up? You know, transitioning, like that sort of thing. What kinds of things? Like clothes I wanted to wear. HRT, name changes, surgery, all that jazz. And how did that make you feel? Nervous? Uncomfortable? I kind of forgot that I was just kicked out. I even told her that. Right? What happened after that? She took me in this big warm hug. It was like 30 degrees and she was warm. Told me everything was going to be all right and all. She said she loved me and she picked me up soon. Huh? She told me to look in the lake and, yeah, you probably know what happened from there. Well, say it anyway for the records. Okay, well, I stood up and looked in the water and like, dude, it was weird. I saw myself turn into a girl. Me, a girl. Like, holy shit. I kinda just got on my knees and started crying. And then Elena grabbed me by the shoulders and picked me up and said we had to go. So we walked away and suddenly I was back on my home street. Not even at the end of the block. There is silence for a few moments. She said she had to go, but that she'd be back. So we hugged and said bye, and then she was just gone. You weren't confused or anything? Of course I was. All of this was confusing. I was angry, depressed. I suddenly had a girl's body. I was euphoric, though. I called Elena and told her everything. Her and her parents came to pick me up. And well, then we went to the hospital. You know what happened then. How did they react? Wouldn't you know? Please, SC, please, just tell me if you're comfortable. Okay. They were furious at my parents mostly. Then they noticed I looked differently. Smaller shoulders, big hips, my clothes not really fitting me anymore. Chalked it up to puberty. Elena didn't even remember what just happened. Thought I was so depressed I was hallucinating or something. I don't know. When she gave me a hug, though, she just didn't feel as warm. The real kicker, though, is when I had to go to the bathroom. That's when they took me to the hospital. Dr. Park writes on his clipboard for several minutes in silence. Thank you for the testimony. We'll talk about this more later. Is there anything else you would like to state? No, that's it. Okay then. James? Yes. Data expunged. End log. No closing statement. Interview 22 continued for approximately 1 hour after the log's conclusion. However, this portion of the recording was expunged by Dr. James Park. Addendum 6113-3-.13 Ethics Committee Memo 2. Ethics Committee Memo, date 18/09/2019 to Dr. James Park. From Ethics Committee Liaison, Jeremiah Samarian. Subject, SCP-6113-3. Interview Log 22. Dr. Park, we have been made aware of your expungement of data from SCP-6113-3's 22nd interview. As the interview's transcript and audio and visual content is unlikely to contain any sort of memetic, cognito, or info hazard, expungement is highly unnecessary. For now, we have not yet chosen to contact Reza about restoring the expunged data. However, we cannot let this go unreprimanded. As of 18/09/2019, you have been placed under probation. We will be conducting a full investigation of your actions with the Foundation. You will continue your duties as SCP-6113 Senior Researcher. Any fault found in your employment history or further actions inconsistent with Foundation policy will lead to disciplinary measures up to and including termination of contract. I advise you to remember your duties, James. Ethics Committee Liaison, Jeremiah Samarian. Addendum 6113-3.14. Interview Log 23. Interviewed, SCP-6113-3. Interviewer, Dr. James Park. Forward, SCP-6113-3 requested several items between interviews to meet with Dr. James Park. All requests were denied by Dr. Park until this time. Begin log 25/10/2019. Dr. Park enters the interview room carrying a small bag. Dude, where the hell have you been? Hi. Why, it's been almost a month. Look, it's been rough. Remember what I said? If you use me for information, I'd stab you in the back. Please, SCP-6113-3, calm down. SCP-6113-3, you did not just call me that. I swear to God, James, this isn't fun. I'm on probation-3, okay? SCP-6113-3 appears to calm for a moment. Probation? Yeah, probation. I could lose my job if I'm not professional about this. Now, I'm sorry I did not meet with you, but I couldn't risk it. Risk what? Losing my job. Having to go back to my family. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Honestly, I don't blame you for that reaction. I really am sorry, though. It's fine. Right. There's silence for a few moments. Well, what's up with you, nerd? Not much, really. Unfortunately, your testimony doesn't exactly help us find the lake. Bummer. I know, right? Oh, that reminds me. Dr. Park rummages through the bag for a few moments. What you got there, buddy? To show you that I really am sorry, I got you something. Dr. Park produces a packet of skirts in its original plastic packaging, typically worn by preteens. Oh wow, James, you shouldn't have. SCP-6113-3 examines the skirt for a few moments. Really, James, you shouldn't have. No, it's not a lot, but I had to guess your size. But you can wear them with your uniform. I know skirts might carry a bad memory for you, but I think it'd be, I don't know, nice to reclaim them for yourself. Right, because if I didn't want to wear skirts now, because my parents kicked me out for having one, I'd certainly wear them here. Oh, well, you don't have to wear them if you don't want to. No, no, I'm kidding. I like them. Thank you, James. SCP-6113-3 examines the package for a few minutes in silence. Little Caribou Lake. I'm sorry? Little Caribou Lake. That's where Elena's lake house is. That's where she brought me every summer. That's where it brought me. Oh, oh my God. Yeah, there is silence for a few moments. James, I trust you. You said if I told you where it is, you would protect those it brings. You wouldn't let them use it. Dr. Park shifts in his seat awkwardly. James, you have to promise me. I don't want to be the reason no one can transition with it anymore. I promise. Okay, James. Thanks. I'm sorry, I have to go. I need to. Jesus, I'm so sorry. It's all right, I get it. I'll be fine. Okay. Thank you. I'll see you soon, okay? Okay. End log. Closing statement. SCP-6113-3 was seen wearing various skirts around Site-17 through the next week. Addendum 6113-3.15 O5 Council Proposal. On 25/10/2019, the following proposal was submitted to the O5 Council by Dr. James Park. On 4/11/2019, the proposal was voted on. 4/11/2019, O5 Proposal Summary. Directive Statement. Declassify SCP-6113 and use its anomalous properties to the benefit of the global transgender population. Dr. James Park, SCP-6113 Senior Researcher. Site-17. Proposed measures. Cease all location and containment efforts of 6113. Allow SCP-6113 to establish itself as a new status quo without Foundation intervention. Immediately amnesticize and release SCP-6113 in accordance with the Reintegration Committee. Council Vote Summary. It is a unanimous nay vote. Status denied. Notes. SCP-6113 is to remain classified and current containment procedures are to be carried out as normal. Addendum 6113-3.16 Interview Log 24 Interviewed SCP-6113-3 Interviewer Dr. James Park Forward Conducted impromptu in SCP-6113-3's containment cell. Begin log 05/11/2019. Dr. Park is allowed access to the containment cell by a guard. Oh, hi, James. You know, these skirts gave me fit pretty well. Dr. Park does not respond. I've been wearing them around. You've noticed, right? Dr. Park does not respond. James, everything all right there? Hello? Dr. Park does not respond. You just gonna keep looking at me like that, dude? I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. What's happening? You good? I couldn't keep my promise. It wasn't up to me. James, what are you talking about? The lake. They're going to find the lake and they're gonna contain it. James, this isn't funny. Tell me you're lying. You're lying, right? I'm sorry. So you spent all that time, months, talking to me. You got me to trust you, and then you lied to me? You lied? What's next? You're gonna toss me to the side? There was nothing I could do. Bullshit! There was everything you could have done! You could have left me the fuck alone like I asked you to. Shit! I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. I did use you. I used you like everyone else in your life. I'm sorry. It's unforgivable. Nothing I could do will ever make up for it. Dr. Park collapses onto the foot of SCP-6113-3's bed. They spend approximately 30 minutes in distress until the pair calm down and are silent for several minutes. So, what now? It'll be contained within the next week. As far as we know, just the presence of the Foundation will deter -1. It won't come. And if it does, well, the two are silent for several more minutes. I am so sorry. The two sit in silence for a few more minutes. SCP-6113-3 moves closer to Dr. Park until they are sitting next to each other. SCP-6113-3 then hugs Dr. Park. Dr. Park is caught off guard, however, and he is hesitant. Eventually, he reciprocates the hug. They sit like this for a few more minutes before separating, composing themselves for a moment. Dr. Park then stands up. Will you be okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. You still have a job after all. Yeah. I'll see you soon. Don't worry. Whatever you say, James. End log. Closing statement, none. Recent changes have been made to this file. Click here to update. Item number 6113-3. Level 3 confidential. Containment class Euclid. Secondary class ePark. Disruption class Dark. Risk class Notice. Special containment procedures. SCP-6113-3 is kept in a standard humanoid containment cell at Site-17. The senior researcher for SCP-6113, currently Dr. Brandon Fisher, is to act as SCP-6113-3's social worker, responsible for SCP-6113-3's well-being as well as their normal duties. SCP-6113-3 is to receive a standard education by Foundation educators up until the 12th grade. While SCP-6113-3 is non-anomalous, standard humanoid containment protocol is in effect. She is only to be referred to as SCP-6113-3. In exchange for continued cooperation and good behavior, SCP-6113-3 is allowed limited socialization privileges with approved site personnel of level 3 or higher, as well as access to approved on-site entertainment activities and weekly visits to the Site-17 courtyard, supervised by one project manager of level 3 6113 or higher. Requests for personal items and containment modifications within reason may also be granted upon approval by SCP-6113 Senior Researcher. To date, SCP-6113-3 has requested a personal laptop, denied, a personal smartphone, denied, a Nintendo Switch console with various games, granted, personalized meals from the Site-17 cafeteria, denied, various snacks and beverages on request, denied, and granted, then overruled by Site Director, denied, release from containment, denied, a pad of paper and various writing utensils, initially denied, now granted. Once SCP-6113 6113-3 reaches the age of 18 in 2025, preparations are to be made for her amnestization and release in accordance with the Reintegration Committee. By order of the Ethics Subcommittee for Humanoid Entities, see Addendum 6113-317, Ethics Committee Injunction, Dr. James Park's contract with the Foundation is terminated, and upon his return, see Addendum 6113-3-16, Incident Log 6113-3-06-11-2019, prohibited from any and all contact with SCP-6113-3 and the SCP-6113 project. He is to be screened for any memetic and cognitohazards before his amnestization and released into civilian life. Description: no changes, data collapsed. Addendum 6113-3.1 through 16, no changes, data collapsed. Addendum 6113-3.17, Ethics Committee Injunction. On 06/11/2019, the following was sent to Dr. James Park in response to the events of Interview 24. Official Ethics Committee Injunction. Date 06/11/2019. To Dr. James Park from Ethics Committee Liaison, Jeremiah Samarian, CC Dr. Brandon Fisher, Subject SCP-6113-3. Dr. Park, the development of the SCP-6113 project has piqued the interest of this committee as of late. With SCP-6113-3's unique containment situation, one should take care when acquiring information from her as to not cross the boundary between object and researcher. While your methods have no doubt proved effective in the containment of SCP-6113, it is of this committee's opinion that you have acted unethically in growing too comfortable with SCP-6113-3. Your continued disregard for the ethical integrity of our position has forced us to take disciplinary action out of an abundance of caution. Effective immediately, you are removed from the SCP-6113 project and demoted to Level 2 Assistant Researcher. You are to be transferred to Site-06-3 immediately. You also barred from any and all contact with SCP-6113-3. If found in violation of this injunction, your contract with the Foundation is to be terminated, and you will be amnesticized. SCP-6113 Assistant Researcher Dr. Brandon Fisher is promoted to the position of SCP-6113 Senior Researcher. Ethics Committee Liaison Jeremiah Samarian. Addendum 6113-3.18. Incident 6113-3 06/11/2019. On 6/11/2019 at 11:42 a.m., 2 guards arrived at Dr. James Park's office to escort him off the premises. Dr. Park had presumably already read the injunction at this point. The office door, however, was locked and the blinds closed. As they attempted to negotiate with Dr. Park, they reportedly heard crying and the sounds of emotional distress inside his office. Additional security personnel were summoned and preparations were made in the event, and Dr. Park turned violent. Dr. Park was non-cooperative with orders to open the door. Threats of termination were met with silence. Security personnel were ordered to forcibly enter his office. Upon entrance, Dr. Park was not found inside his office. Notably, the only exit from his office is through the door that was breached. Dr. Park's personal effects were left intact and his computer terminal was left logged in. There was no sign of a struggle. Seen below is the email his terminal was open to. Site-17 was not put on lockdown, however. All security personnel were ordered to search for and detain Dr. Park immediately. After approximately 4 hours at 4:45 p.m., the order was lifted. Search efforts for Dr. Park were initiated for all Foundation agents and applicable task force within a 100-kilometer radius. As of writing, Dr. Park has not been found. 2. Senior Researcher Brandon Fisher. From Assistant Researcher James Park. Subject Raft. She said it was envy. Addendum 6113-3.19. Interview log 25. Interviewed SCP-6113-3. Interviewer Dr. Brandon Fisher. Forward earliest interview after Incident 6113-3, 06/11/2019. Begin log 08/11/2019. Dr. Fisher enters the interview room. Hello, SCP-6113-3. My name is Dr. Brandon Fisher. Hi, what are you here for? I'm the senior researcher for the SCP-6113 project. I'll be taking care of you from now on. What happened to James? I'm afraid I cannot. What happened to James? He's been relieved of his duties due to a few errors on his part. So, you fired him? Yes, if that's how you would like to put it. SC, don't call me that. What? I said don't call me that. I'm afraid I will have to refer to you how I am told to refer to you. Motherfuckers, it's because of that, isn't it? SCP-6113-3. Please calm down. Y'all couldn't accept he treated me like a person. He called me instead of a bunch of fucking numbers. Listen, if you want me to cooperate, bring James back. I'm afraid I cannot do that. Then you won't get anything from me. SCP-6113-3. SCP-6113-3 does not respond. SCP-6113-3. Fuck you. This interview is over. End log. Closing statement. Dr. Fisher has requested psychotherapy for SCP-6113-3. Major changes have been made to this file. Click here to return to home page. Item number 6113. Containment class Esoteric. Secondary class Multiple. Disruption class NEC. Risk class Warning. Special containment procedures. Containment of SCP-6113-1 is not possible at the present moment. Containment efforts of SCP-6113 are primarily focused on suppression of information surrounding it. Along with SCP-6113-2 containment procedures, the following special containment procedures for SCP-6113 have been implemented. Spread disinformation surrounding SCP-6113-1 through multiple platforms by Foundation web crawlers and planted agents in an attempt to discredit any reported findings and transition events. See File 6113-2. Locate and detain transgender individuals affected by SCP-6113, henceforth referred to as subjects, and hold them for questioning for no more than 1 week. Update and modify any and all legal records of subjects to reflect their current sex and gender identity. Apply Class A and E amnestics to subjects and any family, friends, and acquaintances, as well as implanting false memories if subjects was assigned their gender at birth. Released subjects are monitored for 1 month to ensure complacency. These procedures have been effective at maintaining global normality. However, SCP-6113-1 continues to affect subjects at an increasing average rate of 8 subjects per 7 days. The number of subjects affected by SCP-6113 total over 315 as of 10/01/2020. The Department of Thaumaturgy is currently developing a permanent containment method for SCP-6113-1. Despite numerous potential subjects employed at the Foundation, SCP-6113-1 refuses to enter Foundation property and conduct transition events on personnel. Testing on D-Class personnel and locating, tracking, and studying SCP-6113-1 is not possible at the present moment. Description: SCP-6113 is the designation of multiple objects of varying class, labeled SCP-6113-1 through SCP-6113-3. Refer to individual files below. Access File 6113-1. Item Number 6113-1. Level 2 Restricted. Containment Class Keter. Secondary Class Uncontained. Disruption Class Connect. Risk Class Caution. Special Containment Procedures. No changes. Data collapsed. Description: SCP-6113-1 is a humanoid entity capable of teleportation and disguising as and impersonating human beings. SCP-6113-1 uses its ability to facilitate transition events in transgender individuals globally. See File 6113-2. Current prevailing theories suggest SCP-6113-1 is a humanoid spirit or reality bender, but its true nature is unknown. SCP-6113-1's physical form, however, is a humanoid being made of solid orange light. Its estimated height is 180 centimeters and it glows at approximately 12 lumens. SCP-6113-1 typically reveals itself to the subjects at their lowest moment in life. See Addendum 6113.3, Subject Testimony. When doing so, it disguises itself as a person the subject shares a positive emotional bond with, such as a family member, friend, significant other, or teacher, henceforth referred to as companion. Using information about the subject's personal life and relationship to the companion, it guides the subject to SCP-6113-2 with its teleportation abilities. Subjects do not notice the moment of teleportation, as if they had continuously walked to the destination. How SCP-6113-1 obtains knowledge of the subject's life, personality of the companion, and their relationship to the companion is unknown, but theorized to be a form of mind reading. SCP-6113-1 has also been observed to protect subjects from all physical harm, self-induced or otherwise, for a short time before and after appearing to them, possess intimate knowledge about the subject's personal life, mental health, and relationships, and exude a feeling of calmness and comfort. Additionally, it is also theorized that SCP-6113-1 can become invisible so as to reveal itself to the subject at the right moment. SCP-6113-1 has not demonstrated any new abilities since its discovery on 20/04/2019, but it may or may not possess any more. Access File 6113-2. Item Number 6113-2. Level 2 Restricted. Containment Class Safe. Secondary Class Drygioni. Drygioni E-Class SCPs are those whose anomalous properties are under investigation. Disruption Class Connect. Risk Class Warning. Special Containment Procedures. Local properties have been cleared from the area and a perimeter of chain-link fences 1 kilometer from the edge of the lake have been established. No fewer than 2 guards every 4 kilometers are to continuously patrol the perimeter to deter trespassers. Trespassers are to be detained and turned over to local law enforcement, given Class A amnestics if necessary. A cover story involving a drowning risk has been disseminated through local media. Provisional Site-17 has been established within the perimeter at the lake's eastern edge, disguised as an abandoned boat rental building. CCTV cameras disguised as wildlife cameras have been attached to nearby trees, and their footage routed to and recorded at Provisional Site-17. 2 guards are to be stationed there at all times to monitor CCTV footage. If SCP-6113-1 or any subjects are seen at or near SCP-6113-2, Mobile Task Force Lambda-69, 6 Color Crusaders, are to respond and contain SCP-6113-1 and detain any subjects. Description: SCP-6113-2 is Little Caribou Lake in Minnesota State, 48 degrees 4 minutes and 5 seconds north, 90 degrees 15 minutes 39 seconds west. SCP-6113-2 is the destination for SCP-6113-1 and its subjects when conducting transition events. A transition event can only occur when SCP-6113, no more than one subject, and SCP-6113-2 are within each other's presence. The steps of a transition event are as follows. See Addendum 6113.3, Subject Testimony. Step 1. SCP-6113-1 reveals itself to the subject, disguised as the subject's companion, protecting them from physical harm if necessary. In most cases, this happens alone. It is unclear whether it teleports directly or becomes visible. Step 2. SCP-6113-1 calms and comforts the subject. Subjects do not question why their companion is suddenly accompanying them, as if this is completely normal. Step 3. SCP-6113-1 suggests they go for a walk, guiding them to the lake. To the subject, the apparent environment morphs to match a theoretical path to SCP-6113-2, as if they were within walking distance. Only the subject perceives this. The actual physical locations remain unchanged. These hallucinations could also be the cause of the varying descriptions of SCP-6113-2. Again, subjects do not question this. Step 4. SCP-6113-1 engaged in conversation with the subject about their personal life, offers the subject a seat at the edge of the lake, sitting with them. Topics have included school grades, relationships, and future plans. At some point, the conversation topic naturally shifts to that of gender identity and gender dysphoria, a term for psychological distress caused by an incongruence between one's sex assigned at birth and their gender identity, or euphoria. Step 6. SCP-6113-1 then prompts the subject to view their reflection in the lake. When subject view their reflection in the water, they first see themselves as is. Slowly, the reflection and physical body of the subject will permanently shift until matching their ideal gender identity. The sex characteristics and chromosomes of the subject are primarily affected. This process is similar to that of SCP-113, but notably painless. Step 7. The subject expresses a strong emotional reaction, most often excitement and joy, but sometimes anxiety and fear, in which SCP-6113-1 responds appropriately. Step 8. SCP-6113-1 then guides the subject back to their original location, saying goodbye before leaving either via teleportation or invisibility. Subjects that have underwent a transition event, though occasionally possessing a typical anatomy for humans of a binary sex, are non-anomalous. Transition events do not significantly alter a subject's height, weight, and features that are not related to transitioning. Subjects also report feeling more confident and determined to improve their quality of life. Despite no subjects arriving at SCP-6113-2 and its containment area, subjects continue to undergo transition events globally. Research into if SCP-6113-2's anomalous properties even exist is underway. Object classes classed as Drygioni are under investigation for authenticity by the O5 Council. Addendum Site-6113.1 through 3. No changes. Data collapsed. Warning. Following file is Level 4 6113-3 classified. Any attempt to access this file without Level 4 6113-3 authorization will be logged and will lead to immediate disciplinary action. Input Level 4 6113-3 credentials. Item number 6113-3. Level 4 Secret. Containment class Esoteric. Secondary class Uncontained. Disruption class VLAN. Risk class Notice. Special containment procedures. SCP-6113-3 has escaped containment, assisted by SCP-6113-1 and presumably Dr. James Park. See Addendum 6113-3.20, Containment Breach 6113-3, 15/11/2019. Mobile Task Force Lambda 69, 6 Color Crusaders, is to locate SCP-6113-3 and bring her into containment, where she will be held until the age of 18 in 2025. If such time passes without recontainment, she is to be instead be located and given Class C and G amnestics. Dr. James Park is to be terminated as soon as possible. Amnestization and planting of false memories in SCP-6113-3 to remove any knowledge of Dr. James Park, pending Ethics Committee approval. As of writing, SCP-6113-3 and Dr. James Park have not been located. Description: no changes, data collapsed. Addendum 6113-3 through 19, no changes, data collapsed. Addendum 6113-3.20, Containment Breach 6113-3, 15/11/2019 Report. Containment Breach Report, date 15/11/2019, Site-17. SCPs involved: SCP-6113-1, SCP-6113-3. Mobile Task Force involved: Lambda 69, 6 Color Crusaders. Personnel involved: various Site-17 security personnel, Dr. Brandon Fisher. Others involved: Dr. James Park, presumably. On 15/11/2019 at 10:26 p.m., SCP-6113-1 appeared unnoticed in an unpopulated portion of Site-17, disguised as Site Director Thomas Graham. SCP-6113-1 made its way to Dr. Brandon Fisher's office, mimicking his behavior perfectly so as to remain undetected. Still disguised, SCP-6113-1 then requested Dr. Fisher's Level 3 access card for security purposes. Despite the suspect reasoning, Dr. Fisher granted SCP-6113-1 his access card before returning to his terminal. SCP-6113-1 then left Dr. Fisher's office and walked towards the low-security humanoid containment ring. When alone, SCP-6113-1 took the opportunity to disguise as Dr. Fisher. This was captured on surveillance cameras and security personnel were alerted. On 11:03 p.m., the full site lockdown was ordered by Site Director Graham. Mobile Task Force Lambda 69, 6 Color Crusaders, was deployed with an ETA approximately 10 minutes. SCP-6113-1, still disguised, arrived in the humanoid containment wing and requested to meet with SCP-6113-3. Approximately half of the guards stationed in this wing were absent, attending to the lockdown order. Again, despite the suspicious circumstances, the guard allowed SCP-6113-1 into SCP-6113-3's containment cell. This was captured on surveillance cameras. Upon entrance, SCP-6113 reacted with alarm and anger, shouting several expletives. SCP-6113-1 then disappeared for a few moments before returning with a woman, presumably Dr. James Park. SCP-6113-3 was shocked, then calmed immediately. The following exchange is logged below. James? It's Janet now. Holy fucking shit, your egg cracked. No thanks to you. SCP-6113-3 runs up and hugs Dr. Park. I missed you so much, dickhead. Dr. Park hugs her tightly. I missed you too, dipshit. Finally got you to curse at me. Dr. Park giggles. So, what's the plan? We break out, with -1's help. Then, for once in my life, I've got nothing planned after that. SCP-6113-3 grabs Dr. Park's hand. Well, lead the way. SCP-6113-3 and Dr. James Park both left 2 documents and 3 labeled photos on the containment cell's desk. The group left the containment cell as security personnel approached their position. SCP-6113-1, SCP-6113-3, and Dr. James Park then sprinted in the opposite direction. At 11:12 p.m., MTF Lambda 69 arrived in the humanoid containment wing in front of the group. MTF Lambda 69 engaged the group, firing non-lethal ammunition. All projectiles, however, harmlessly collided with their bodies. SCP-6113-3 and Dr. James Park exhibited no pain response. One member of MTF Lambda 69 then vocalized several thaumaturgical incantations in an attempt to disable SCP-6113-1's known abilities. These incantations were only successful in removing SCP-6113-1's ability to disguise, revealing its true orange light form. With SCP-6113-1's assistance, the group disappeared from view. At 11:15 p.m., Site-17's lockdown order was lifted, and search efforts for SCP-6113-1, SCP-6113-3, and Dr. James Park were initiated for all Foundation agents and applicable mobile task forces within a 100-kilometer radius. At 4 a.m., the search order was lifted. Addendum 6113-3.21 Document SCP-6113-3.1 To whom it may concern, I am thankful for my time with the Foundation, and I have enjoyed working on the SCP-6113 project immensely. However, I cannot, in good conscience, continue my employment. The reason? SCP-6113-3. It was envy, she said, that the idea of being a girl for her was more desirable than actually being a boy. I didn't understand it at the time. Needless to say, my desire to be her mother shadowed my judgment. For the better. I know I've been compromised. You will search for and attempt to terminate me. For once, I don't care. I love her and I will do anything to protect her. That includes what I've just done. Forgive me, but I did what I thought was necessary. What I thought was ethical. I expect to see you soon, and again, thank you, truly, for the opportunity. Janet Park. Addendum 6113-3.22 Document SCP-6113-3.2 Dear Foundation, dare I say it, but maybe taking a little abused trans girl hostage wasn't the best decision you've ever made. Sure, life could have been worse for me, but could have also been better. Who knows, you never even gave me the chance. I know one thing for certain, though. I never had a family, and the Foundation couldn't give me one. Wouldn't even let me have one, so I had to find my own. Janet, don't try looking for me in her. Y'all may be all powerful, but I have an invincible spirit thing protecting me. And don't you dare touch Elena again, or I swear to God I'll make y'all bleed. There isn't much more for me to say other than that. Of course, with love, fuck you, Chloe Park. Addendum 6113-3.23 Access file attachments.